Welcome everyone to another episode of the Big Brain MMA podcast, episode 41, Bellator 289, Stots versus Sabatello. I'm your host, BigSteve. Just me today. At least I got some time to smash this out. Why the hell am I getting a call from Hyundai? Anyway, let's smash out this card. I won't take too long. I've still got my UFC bets to finalize and some LFA to tape, so we should get straight into it. I spent way too much time on fights like Cass Bell and Cody Law, etc., so I don't want to waste any more time. Just a quick one for the people that were part of my little experiment trying to do live tape study research for the Bellator with I think I did Jalil Willis in a couple of fights. And then I got a copyright strike ASAP as soon as I started showing footage. Let me know in the comments if you'll be interested for me to just do taping with just my face, just narrating the footage. Obviously, you have to look at my face, maybe a shared screen. But let me know if that interests you, right? And you can maybe have it on your own screen while I tape. So I'll just do 1 or 2 fights, break it down, and do that. If no one cares about that, then I won't bother doing it. But just let me know if you're listening, if you're in the comments when you watch this video. Could be something I'm interested in. Other than that, let's get straight to it. Cass Bell, Jared Scoggins. Crazy line. I don't know. Not really a fan of Jared Scoggins. He's one of the most boring guys I've ever seen. Obviously, his brother was in the UFC. Similar style, karate style. Except Jared likes to wrestle a lot more. Like I said, very boring. He's fought a decent level of competition. He's fought Peralta, who's also one of the most boring guys as well. He's fought Cody Durden, beat both of them. Thomas Vasquez. He's either lost by decision or won by decision, and then recently just got knocked out by Josh Hill. And then Cass Bell, on the other hand, he's just a big 35-year-old green-haired dude. All his wins are by finish. And then he's had a massive step up in competition against what's his name? Stots was fighting later on, and Lugo, 2 good guys. Stots rear naked choked him later on. The line's insane. Cass Bell can't really stop a takedown. I think if this goes to decision more often than not, Scoggins grinds him out. But if you are going to play Cass, play him by finish. That big punch from Josh Hill was quite brutal. So I might even put $50 on it. I mean, I guess I could see a way where if I don't get props, which sometimes I don't for Bellator prelims, I might just play Cass by finish, chuck $50 on it or something. Not even a unit in any sense, like not a quarter unit, not a tenth of a unit, just like $50, just so I have something. I don't like losing too much money on Bellator. Let's move on. Next fight, Patrick Downey, Christian Eccles. This is just a setup. Patrick Downey, I'm not American. I don't really follow the wrestling scene, but I've known about this guy for a while now. He's an animal in the grappling scene, and he's also been grappled with Nicky Rod and Gordon Ryan. So, and his last fight was a first-round sub. So I think he's going to run through this guy as well. I seem like the under is minus 300 and something. Look, it could still be value. I remember I hammered the under on Bo Nickal's debut in Contender Series because it was over in 30 seconds. If it's over in 30 seconds, minus 300, it's still potentially value. So you could look at that. But this is a squash match. Right, I don't want to talk too much about it. Just double checking if I have any props just yet. No, just the main card. That's fine. Move on. UFC betting experience. Thanks for listening, mate. Just your face will be fine as long as we know what fight you watch and we can pop it on. Easy peasy, mate. Let's see if couple of more people agree with you, and then we can look to work on it. Mark Lemminger, Michael Lombardo. Been going back and forth on this fight. I see a lot of similarities. Michael Lombardo, he's a bit of a meat and potato kind of guy. He's a wrestler, serviceable boxing, has a nice calf kick. That's pretty much it. Usually grinds his way to a decision unless he's fighting a can. He's fought a decent level of competition. He's fought Chris Dawkins upper middleweight. Did quite well. I mean, he lost the unanimous decision. I mean, the size difference looked massive. He was put in a lot of his front headlock series and survived. Fought Corey Coupe and just grinded him out. All right, so he's a bit unlucky. Went on Contender Series twice and didn't get signed. Yeah, it's hard to get a read because when he's fighting bums, he beats them. When he's fighting good guys, he loses, right? So he lost to Carl Kruchmer as well, who got grinded out by. And, Kruchmer is later on in this card. He does that to everyone. I feel like he would do the same to Mark Lemminger. Mark Lemminger is a gritty wrestler. Also, serviceable striking, I guess, seems to have power. He's a bit hard to trust, especially at favorite odds, right? He's got good ground and pound. He seems to be chinny to me as well. He got wobbled by Amazon in round 1. He got knocked out by Neiman Gracie in round 1. Yes, he had a big uppercut, but he was getting wobbled before that and got knocked out in round 3 by Jason Witt on the regionals, right? So I'm not just jumping to conclusions here. He has been hurt a lot of times. He got outstruck by Jalil Willis. He did take Willis down and take his back. It's just an interesting fight. He got taken down by Oliver Ankap as well, who is a bit of a karate guy, but he can get takedowns. And then obviously when he turned it on, he rocked Ankap, and then in round 3 took him down and got buggy choked, which is a massive red flag. Don't see Michael Lombardo doing that here. I just think this is a pick 'em fight. So there's marginal value on Lombardo. Just two guys that might cancel out with their grappling, and Lombardo's got a good chin. I don't see him getting ground and pounded by Lemminger on top. Like every time Lombardo was on bottom on Dorcas up until round 3 when he was a bit tired, he would just wrestle up straight away after getting out of submission. So I think this is just pick 'em fight. I don't have any reads, so I was just going to hit the 220 on Lombardo, maybe for like 0.4 of a unit to win half a unit. I feel like I'm kind of forcing it. I don't know. I'm wondering why money's coming on Lemminger. So it's going to pass it. It's just minimal value. I don't know. I mean, I guess if Lombardo looks like favorite, then might be kicking myself, but happy passing here. I like Mark. Think he should win as long as he doesn't get KO'd. How do you think he wins, mate? It's hard to get a read on this fight. Kevin Bowen, Kai Kamaka, $1.30 on Kai Kamaka. I mean, he's got that UFC tax. Kevin Bowen, I can't really find tape on the guy. He fought his Bellator debut. He went up against that Dagestani dude, Ahmed Magomedov, 9-0. He got guillotined. Other than that, he lost the decision to Austin Springer, red flag, which I can't find. And the one fight I did find, I think it was Anthony Jimenez. Let me check. I'm going to check the profile pic. Yeah, Anthony Jimenez, who was 5-0 at the time. Now he's 5-4. He was rocking him all over the place. Round 1 hurt him. Round 2 hurt him. And then I guess Old Man got a couple of takedowns and grinded out one of the rounds. And then round 3, he finally got a proper takedown and got some top time and gritted it out. So it seems like a gritty dude that wants to wrestle. Quite hittable from what I could tell. Kai Kamaka's fight to lose. It's a big step down in competition. But it's Kai Kamaka, man. He's not trustworthy. He usually fights closer than he should. He usually goes to decision, despite being an athletic guy and working the body, having some power, having good wrestling of his own. I mean, lost to split to TJ Brown, went to a draw against Danny Chavez. These are low-level guys that potentially not even UFC level. Beat John De Jesus 29-28, or got dropped badly in round 2. And he had a split decision to Justin Gonzalez, which was actually a step up in competition. I think it's just the way Justin Gonzalez fights. So, yeah, he wins, and I guess a lot of people are going to put him in parlay pieces because it's Kai Kamaka, the ex-UFC fighter, against Journeyman. But, Kevin Bowen is gritty enough for me to pass, just because I don't see how much value is in $1.30 for Kai Kamaka, personally, myself. So, not for me. Cody Law, Chris Lencioni. I got really close to playing Lencioni here. Cody Law obviously has been getting cans in Bellator all over the place, one after another. He's fought nobodies. He usually finishes them. All right, 0-0, 2-0, 2-0, 1-0, 4-3. Right, that Carlton Ham guy is horrendous. James Adcock, 7-4. Just really bad guys. He's a good wrestler. He's got a wide stance, calf kick. He's got like that technical striking style. Seems to be composed. He got to step up against James Gonzalez, who I contemplated playing, and I passed at big underdog odds. I just played the over there because, whenever he's not fighting a can, he goes to a decision. That wasn't even a sweat. It was a competitive fight. I thought Law won rounds 1 and 2 via striking. Although near the end, Gonzalez turned it on a bit. I think he stole the round according to the judges. And then he just dominated round 3. He turned it on even more. Law seemed to get tired. It became more hittable. Got taken down, got his back taken, almost got choked out, and lost a clear unanimous decision. So dropped the ball there as a massive favorite. And now they're giving him Lencioni, who I honestly thought they were going to give him a can. That's usually what happens with Bellator when their prospect doesn't pass the test, they just go back to the can status. And they gave him Chris Lencioni, who's 9-3. He's been in Bellator for a while. He's for a guy that is supposedly not that great, man. He's fought a who's who, right? So he's got a lot of fights in Bellator. He lost to Daniel Carey by decision, Taiwan Claxton by decision. Claxton just grinded him out. Benjiani, triangle choked Benjiani, who's decent. He won against a Salim, who's 7-3. Bit AJ Agazam, who's trains with the Diaz bros. He's a very credentialed grappler. He was on the ground, rolling with him, just outstruck him, outscrambled him, which was very impressive. He's got a lot of confidence. He's scrappy. Lost to Don Shanis, who's in UFC now. He still had his back in round 3. I almost choked him out. Beat Draco Rodriguez, his first fight outside of UFC. And Talon Hoffman, who can't find the fight. Right, so I was honestly going to play Chris Lencioni. I just thought he was a similar fighter to James Gonzalez. Gonzalez is a Serra Longa black belt. He submitted Pat Sabatini, of all people, from his back with the omoplata. Sabatini didn't tap, but he completely jacked his shoulder. And he's a durable guy as well. Lencioni never been finished. So similarities there, both jiu-jitsu guys, both gritty, good level of competition. Then watching the fight with Shanis, he took down Shanis multiple times, and then Shanis reversed him with a half guard sweep, and he was going 2-1 into the 2-0 into the third. And then in the third, Lencioni was looking quite tired, and he still got his back, so he's always live. He got his back, and he's got a rear naked choke. So he's got his flaws, right? In the Draco Rodriguez fight, Draco just busted him up bad in round 1, rocked him, and then Lencioni got on top and finished the round the same, got busted up in the second, busted up in the third. It was essentially getting busted up in every round, and as soon as he got on top, that's his element, right? He has a lot of grappling fights. He grapples all the time. Obviously, we've seen him hold his own against AJ Agazam. So it's just my thing here is I want to play him, but Cody Law didn't wrestle at all against Gonzalez. If he doesn't wrestle here, right, I can see him lighting up Lencioni because his head movement is so awful. But he also throws a lot of output. Lencioni throws a lot of output, and he just makes the fight scrappy enough. I guess Law can hold him down. Law can bust him up and keep safe. He's just, I don't know. It's an easy dog or pass for me. Just I haven't played it. There's a lot of those red flags that I see in Lencioni. That Shanis fight constantly getting reversed. I just wish he was a bit more composed, right? And he's got a lot of intangibles that you want in the underdog. And Cody Law is overrated here again on the line. It's just I feel like Lencioni is just a bit too stupid. It works for him in some fights, but in the other fights like Taiwan Claxton, he just gets held down. So reluctantly passing on this fight. Could be a dog with the best value. Rob Lawrence, thanks for the content. Thanks for listening, mate. Thanks for listening. I'll be doing another podcast after this with my final bets for UFC. So once I'm off, I have to get to the tape. Been up nice and early. Any thoughts on Law or decision? If you're gonna back Law, that's the only way to do it. Or overs, potentially the overs. I see a lot of people banking Lencioni by a submission. I don't know about that. Law was pretty good and pretty composed at getting out of Gonzalez's back control. He seems pretty composed, pretty patient. Obviously not good to end up in that position, but you have to be calm once you're in there. All right, let's move on. Kyle Crutchmer, Jalil Willis. I see Jalil Willis is a popular underdog. He went from $3.30 down to just under $3. I get it, I guess. He's got a wrestling background, and he's got a nice shiny record. And Crutchmer is very one-dimensional, and he's lost before to a striking decision to that Russian dude from Ultimate Fighter that's not that great, Kaman Lachinov. So a lot of people have been expecting him to do that again, but since then he's beaten a lot higher level of competition. Lowen Shikeli is better than Willis. Oliver Ankap, not so much. Michael Lombardo, who has a good wrestling background. he's just a tough guy to deal with. He's very stocky and he's this high-level wrestler. He's good at getting out of submissions. And Jalil Willis, for someone that has a wrestling background, he doesn't have the best takedown defense and he's a bit flaky, right? So I put money on him against Makhmud Bekhamov. Reluctantly, I was just playing the number. The tape didn't really inspire much confidence in me. The main red flag was the Carl Stewart fight. I couldn't get it up this time around because the Yoku, the Chinese YouTube thing, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It was pissing me off. But I remember taping that fight, and he lost to Carl Stewart of all people because he got wrestled. So that's a massive red flag. Couldn't find the Dakota Bush fight. He got taken down in the Dakota Bush fight as well. I watched it a while back, actually. Mark Lemminger got his back taken by Mark Lemminger in rounds 2. He always wins 29-28. Like he does, he's a decision machine. I wrote that in my notes. He dropped Makhmed. Makhmed looked bad in some of his regional tape in Russian scene, but he was 27 and he made big improvements. He still got dropped there, and Willis went for a back take and he fell off and he got choked out. And that's the stuff that he does. And don't even have to talk about the Sabah Hamasi fight. That was a massive flake performance. He's just not trustworthy, right? He gives the illusion that he's good because he was an LFA champ and he had a shiny record, but knocked out by Park in the first round, out-wrestled by Carl Stewart. Vincius de Jesus is not that good. He had a really tepid striking battle with him over 5 rounds. Maikon Mandoka, so he needs to use his wrestling to win clear decisions. He's not going to have that against Krachma. And I guess, the $1.30 on Krachma is still a bit out there, because he's so one-dimensional. But the thing is, I probably just give Willis a 30% chance to have a 3-round striking fight without giving up takedowns, without doing something stupid and falling off the back. Yeah, I understand, but not for me. Jalil Willis is not trustworthy for me. He's a bit of an airhead, and he's got no finishing upside, and his path is a close decision. So, not for me. Past fight. Denise Keyholds. Let me just address some of these comments. Tattoo and Dream, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that's given me the idea for my podcast, the Final Bets podcast, the way, mate. Carl decision hedge. Willis round 3 for less sweat, I guess. I mean, I don't even see Willis finishing in round 3. He's just a decision machine. Good thing I'm not betting Sabatini. Indeed. Whatever that means. All right, let's move on. Denise Keyholds, Lara Joanne. I've been going back and forth on this fight. It seems to be a very popular fight. The line is going back and forth as well. Money coming in both ways. I can understand it, right? Denise, she's a good striker. I think her performance against the champion, Velasquez, who is also quite underwhelming herself, has given her like an inflated line. Obviously, she's knocked out a few girls as well, etc. She's got a big overhand right, so I can understand it. She likes to go for a bit of jiu-jitsu herself as well. She's improved a lot. She's a credentialed kickboxer. She's short. She's explosive. But she's prone to brain farts, right? She's been guillotined by Vega Ortega. That was a while back now, 2018. And, even Bryony Tyrrell, who's 4-4 now, or 4-5 after losing to that Italian chick on Cage Warriors. She had her back multiple times in rounds 1 and 2. That's a soccer mum. And getting her back like that, that's a massive red flag. Other than that, she's got good power, good overhands, like I said. Juliana Velasquez just chose to have a 5-round striking battle with her, made it closer than it should have been. But Ilara Joanne, on the other hand, she's a grappler. She actually has decent hands. I was surprised by her hands. She's got really big fists. You can see her on tape. Really big fists and long reach for a 5'3" chick. Obviously, first fight I watched was Beck rolling, whatever. She just grinded it out. Not the most impressive win. She still lost position against Beck Rollings and then went for an E-bar. So she inverts a lot. She goes for a lot of leg locks. Kana Watanabe, she was cracking her as well. That's where I noticed how good her striking is. Or not good, but how heavy her hands are. Like she's not just a striker, not just a grappler per se, a one-dimensional one. But Watanabe, we've seen everyone crack her, right? She got knocked out by Liz Camouche. She has literally zero head movement, gets wobbled in every single fight. Vanessa Porto, she was doing well striking with her rounds 1 and 2, and then got taken down in rounds 2, which I think lost the round, and then she got taken down a few more times in rounds 3. Vanessa Porto, 22 and 9, very credentialed grappler, a bit old now, but yeah, she's just a very grizzled vet, and she likes to grapple, so got the win there. And then Alejandra Lara, she just grinded her out. She got wobbled she took it down round 1, 2, and 3, got wobbled in round 1. But yeah, it's just a clear unanimous. And Lara, again, bad takedown defense. The reason I've been going back and forth is just I feel like Denise can do what she can. She can have the better striking. She may be able to crack Joanne. In the fight with Kana Watanabe, she got taken down with ease. Denise, they both fought Kana. I didn't like that. I actually played Kana there by sub decision. I only played it small because I was scared with her head movement. I thought she was going to eat a big right hand and get knocked out. She had a back take, and she got taken down with ease in round 1. Got a back take and spent most of the time there. Got taken down in round 1 and round 2 as well with ease. And then she lost the back control, and then she got triangled. So it's just not a good look. She does look good when she's knocking out, Christina Williams, Kate Jackson, competitive striking battle with Velasquez. But like I said, she's prone for a brain fart. And I feel like Joanne, even though I don't like her losing position, then going for legs, etc., I feel like that's something that can catch Denise off guard, right? Because she can make mistakes and can get submitted. So it's a dog or pass for me. I don't know. I see some people saying they're interested now by Denise as a decent, as a less juiced favorite. But it's a dog or pass for me. I just can't make a decision. I don't know, something putting me off. It's not like, I think it's going to be a pass for me. I saw some stuff that I liked from Joanne, and then the more I taped, I saw some stuff that I didn't like. So that usually tells me that I shouldn't force the dog. I've had it last week with someone, I can't remember who as well. So yeah, dog or pass for me. If you have specific props, it wouldn't be a bad thing to maybe sprinkle Joanne by submission. But I can see you winning a decision. Dalton Rossa, Anthony Adams. I spent way too much on this fight. Obviously, Dalton incredibly juiced. But I have props because it's a main card fight, and I saw the over 2.5 at $1.66. Slight juice, but obviously my memory of Dalton Rossa is a decision machine, and he does have all decisions. Ty Gorda, Tony Johnson, who's a decent guy. Gorda, typical durable Hawaiian. Dwayne Johnson, and with the same nickname, The Rock. He hurt that guy. He's a bit of a can. He hurt that guy multiple times in round 1, and Dwayne survived. And then his first finish in Bellator, obviously not counting, he's fought some bums, right? 1-0, 1-1, 1-1. He's finished one of them really late in round 2. So his first finish in a while against Romero Cotton, he was lighting him up for all 2 rounds. The fact that it took him till round 3 to knock him out just tells you all you need to know. So he's explosive. He's powerful. He's got good takedowns. He had Ty Gorda's back for a bit. There's just no submissions on his record. He gives the illusion that he's explosive and he can knock people out. He just doesn't have that one punch per KO power. Anthony Adams never been finished. He's fought Impa Kasanganya. He's fought, here we go, Chibukem Onyegecha. He's fought him, big black explosive dude on Contender Series, and didn't get finished there. Didn't even get rocked. What's his name? Impa had his back a bit, which I'm not saying he can stop many takedowns from Dalton. He just leaves a lot to be desired. All Anthony Adams. He circles around. He looks to stay safe. It's probably why he hasn't been finished. He knocked out Josh Caban and LFA. I don't know. What can you make of that? Other than that, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's his only finish, man. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 11 fights have gone decision, win or lose. And then Dalton, finish against Bums, then decision. And then round 3 finish against Romero Cotton. And Romero Cotton's a wrestler. Couldn't take him down. And then obviously just fell apart in the stand-up. I just think, I'm just tossing up. Do I play this over 2.5, $1.66? I feel like he will be sweaty. I feel like Anthony Adams will eat some shots. He went to a decision with Khalid Murtazalev, who the fraud Russian, the gas is bad. No one's ever going to finish anyone there. So yeah, that's my only play that I'm considering here. The only reason I haven't played it because it's a little bit juiced, $1.66. I've seen Dalton crack people and rock him, and they've still gone to a decision. I guess that's the sweat that you can see in the Anthony Adams fight. $1.66, what do we got here? That's exactly 60% probability. The only reason I haven't played it is because I can kind of see that as being accurate odds, and I'm not getting much value. I can also see it being $1.43, which 70%. Can you see this fight going over 70% of the time? Potentially. What do you reckon, UFC betting experience? What do you cap it at, mate? I either cap it at 60%, which is the odds are exactly accurate, or 70%, $1.43, which means you get about 20 cents, which would be a play for me. But yeah, something's stopping me. Something's stopping me. I don't know what. I'm pondering that one. That's potential play for me. Let's move on. Magomedov, Patchy Mix, interesting fight. Very popular one, this one. High level fight. I love this. I love the bantamweight division in Bellator. They've got a world class division with world class fighters. I love it. Something to watch, not just UFC. Hard to bet on. I think these are very good fighters. I don't know. I can't get a good read. I understand money coming on Mix when he was a bigger underdog. I get it. Obviously, a bad look against Enrique Barzola for Magomed. Just all those takedowns given up. Really didn't like the pressure. All those back takes given up. So yeah, it's just I get it, right? But other than that, the Ruffian Stots loss. Ruffian Stots obviously had the much better striking, and you could shut him down. And Patchy Mix, on the other hand, doesn't have that striking. He's a lot more plodding forward. The cardio is not as good as Barzola. Barzola has very good pressure boxing, obviously. He's had close fights with Evloev and Muffet in the UFC due to that pressure boxing style. So yeah, it's not the first guy to suffer, and the fact that he adjusted and guillotined Barzola, which was pretty impressive. He started to light Barzola up later on. He seemed a bit off. I don't know if that was because it was a 5-rounder and he was pacing himself. Maybe he's known from experience before. Magomed's had 2 5-rounders against Petr Yan, so he's got that experience. He's got a lot of experience in general, title fights as well. So now it's fighting Mix. I was on Mix against Koji Hiroguchi, right, as a decent sized underdog. Right, obviously the Juan Archuleta fight did not look good. He still got 2 rounds against Juan. Juan, the much better cardio. I grappled him, and Juan's decent. He put Barzola through the ringer. I would love to see all these guys fight each other. Barzola versus Koji, or Archuleta versus Magomedov. Right, all these fights are exciting. I want to see all of them fight amongst each other. That'd be great. But anyway, back to breaking down this fight. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I backed him against Koji because Koji's small, and I seen him in his regional tape against Ogibono, the guy that was on an Ultimate Fighter that hasn't been signed, the flyweight. He was giving up his back, and I thought size advantage. I don't think he's going to knock out Mix. I think Mix can backpack him here and there. If Ogibono could backpack him back in Ryzen. So that was an easy play for me. He still came down to the last round. It was 2-1. I think one of the refs gave him 4-1. He kept the striking competitive, which I think is more the size of Patchy Mix. Both guys like to go for guillotines, right? I didn't like to see that from Magomedov, having 2-3 failed ones against Barzola. Patchy Mix has done that against the worst level of opponents, against Morales and Gallagher, and lost position, and those fights were not looking good. Obviously, he was beating Morales. He was on bottom, fell off the back in first round. He was on bottom for a bit. I can just see Arleen Magomed. I can just see Mix losing a lot more positions against a wrestler. I think Magomed's more explosive and a stronger wrestler. The concern is that he does get backed up, and the concern is that he does get backpacked. Even Stots did it against him. But he got out. And he's never in any danger of getting submitted. And he got out, and then he got Stots' back. And I just think, if this is a 3-round grappling fight, as much as Patchy Mix will get his back, backpack him here and there, I think if they keep grappling, if they stand for an extended period amount of time, and no one gets guillotined, I think Magomed will have the better takedowns, the more wrestling, the better scrambles. So yeah, I'll lean him, but he's still a slight favorite here. So he's $1.76 for me. What do we got him there? They have him at like 50, just under 60%. So I don't know. I guess that's what I cap him at. So not much value there for me. Yeah, not much value there for me. But it's a good live betting fight. These fights have all been great for live betting. Let's address some of these comments. Roster's been good. Yeah, roster's overs have been good. I feel like they would have been better against, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and some of these other guys who are not as good. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I'll take it. Did you play the Romero Cotton over? You would have got burned there, unless you're talking about 1.5. Max bet, Koji was so sad. Mixed beat, Koji was sad. It was, but I had money on it, so I wasn't sad at all. That's the beauty of gambling. You don't feel bad about your favorite fighters losing. Don't remind me. Having emotion recovered. Come on, boys. Can't be emotional when it comes to money. All right, let's move on. Liz Carmouche, Juliana Velasquez. I had money on Liz Carmouche the first time around. It was a small play for me just because I'm pretty sure the line was a lot wider than it is now. I think I played Liz Carmouche KO decision or something just to juice it up. I really wasn't confident. I thought there was value, but I think I missed the earlier line. There was a much better line. I spoke to someone about it, and they played it. And then by the time I got kind of around to taping it, it was a lot of money came in, and I was like, I think it's probably accurate at this point. I think it was around this line. She was losing 3-0. I just think the reason I wasn't too confident on Liz, despite her having value, is just despite all the advantages she had. So Juliana Velasquez, I'm really not impressed with her. Right, she's flat-footed. She doesn't check kicks. She's hittable. Right, we've seen Denise Keyholds crack her, and Velasquez and Carmouche was just coming off the round 1 KO of Watanabe, who's the most hittable person in the world, I would say. So that avenue was there. She got takedowns every time she wanted them. And still, it was 3-0 on all 3 judges' scorecards for Velasquez. Just because the way Carmouche fights is she circles around, doesn't throw much other than leg kicks, occasional overhands, and the takedowns that she gets, she doesn't have much damage done on top. So whenever Velasquez will get up, she dropped her in round 2, and then she got taken down, and then she got up and took down Carmouche, and you have to give it to the lady that dropped her because of damage. She was lighting up Carmouche in round 3 and still got taken down. And then she dropped her in round 4 again with the 1-2. So to me, Carmouche can't deal with the straight punches. She can't deal with the straight punches, but she still fought for my money. And in that round 4, she needed a finish. She got a finish. It wasn't a finish at all. Thankfully, Mike Beltran saved us because he's a veteran. He's a veteran, and he wanted his veteran compadre Carmouche to get a win, so he just gave her an easy crucifix finish there. But yeah, Carmouche still, she didn't fight to her full potential, right? She got a takedown. I honestly thought she won round 1. I don't know how, at least the judges didn't give her that round. She didn't fight to her potential, and she still made it seem relatively close, right? So on another day, that's 2-2 going into the 5th round, with the crucifix and the takedown. So I'm stuck in between. There's still value. There's value on Carmouche because the head movement, the lack of head movement from Velasquez, not checking their leg kicks, the volume, the stiffness, and being able to be taken down by Carmouche every time she attempted it, almost. That's still there. So Carmouche can still exploit those weaknesses. And she's already fought her once, so maybe she can adjust to the 1-2 and know what to expect. And on the other hand, it's just Velasquez just does what she needs to do, and she puts stamps on rounds a lot more. So I just think the line is accurate. I have Velasquez potentially at 64%, 65, so $1.54. So yeah, I'm not running to play this line, but it's a dog or pass. I wouldn't be playing Velasquez $1.50. It's another good live bet. Live bet was the first time this fight was going. Live bet was all over the place, and you could have. I think I've live bet and hedged it multiple times. Cool. All right, main event. Stots Sabatello. Great fight. Obviously, Danny Sabatello is going to do everything he can to make it a horrible fight. But really the high-level fight for Bellator standards, 5 rounds. for the title. I got a little bit on. I got half a unit Ruffian Stots $1.76 before tape. I have an advantage of knowing where the odds are going to go in America. Here in Australia, I'm usually ahead. So I was like, I heard people talking about it being $1.60, and I just played half a unit. I actually played another half, and I didn't realize the bookies didn't accept my stake because it dropped to $1.70. So at $1.70, I was like, let's quickly tape it before I put another half unit. And I don't know how much value there's there. Obviously, Stots, he's got the much better striking. He's a lot more fluid. The Magomedov fight was very impressive. He kept his distance. He outstruck him on the outside. His sprawl was amazing. Whenever Magomed shot in, he sprawled in. Strong hips, obviously, very credentialed wrestler himself. And he got his own takedowns with ease and got his back. So both guys like to ride the back. Danny Sabatello is more of a wrestler. He's got the body lock on the back, and he just kind of sits on you. Whereas Stots actually has the first thing I noticed about Stots taping him a long time ago. Man, he's got amazing back control. He sticks to you like glue. So it's that's more the jiu-jitsu pressure rather than just wrestling. So yeah, he's got a lot of advantages here, right? The striking, the wrestling himself. I know a lot of people are cautious with how Juan Chileta fought against him before he got the knockout. But to me, that just shows he can get a knockout, whereas Danny Sabatello can just grind him out to decision. There's one way to beat him, one way for him to win, and that's it. Whereas it can be a bit close. Archuleta's good though. I think Archuleta beat Sabatello as well. He's got the cardio. His boxing improved in that fight. He was lighting up Stots, which was a bit crazy to see. So yeah, I don't see Sabatello having any of that, right? Sabatello's going to calf kick from the outside, jump around. He's going to look for that telegraphed entry, which he gets on a lot of the people that he fights. But yeah, Stots is a bit of a different animal. So, and the people that he's fought, Blackshear, someone asked me, I think it was Tattoo and Dream, asked me who's the best wrestler he's fought. And it's hard to tell. Damon Blackshear, he's a solid wrestler, but he's, you watch his tape when he fought Zalal in the UFC, and he gets taken down quite a bit. He looks to play jiu-jitsu. Who else? Brett Johns, really good offensive wrestler, not the best defensive wrestler. He was getting thrown around by Gravely until Gravely gassed. Janelle Luger, solid fighter. He gives the appearance that he's a good anti-grappler, but he's not. And Higo's just a jiu-jitsu guy. He just kept going for guillotines over and over and over again, which is not what you want to do against Sabatello. You just want to negate his takedowns. You don't want to play jiu-jitsu with him. And even then, Higo got his back, and it was just backpacked him for all of round two. So, Ruffian Stots can easily do that multiple times. In scramble, get his back. I'm not sure about Stots' cardio. I'm not sure if he slowed down against Magomedov, but he did lose that round on one judge's scorecards when he lost the back. I know he's just easily grinding out Josh Hill. The reason I don't have more than half a unit on this is just I can still see a close fight. I hate fading the guys that can just relentlessly grapple over and over again for 5 rounds. So Sabatello, whenever he's losing the striking, he's just going to crotch sniff. And even though he doesn't deserve that, that round of the fight. For example, MVP's fight in London against Storley, he didn't really deserve it based on damage, but MVP didn't land anything in the center of the octagon either. So the only thing that happened in the fight is him being held up against the cage for 5 minutes. I can see Sabatello doing that. And, obviously Stots landed some good shots against Magomedov on the outside, which is what gave him the fight. If he doesn't get any chance to land any shots and he just spends all of the rounds against the cage, then yeah, I can see it being sweaty. And anything less than $1.70, I wouldn't play. It's just, I kept him as a slight favorite. But I have a sneaking suspicion the Stots can look a massive favorite. He can look it. It's just I want to see someone. I want to see someone punish Sabatello first. I want to see someone before I just. He's one-dimensional, but I don't want to fade him because he's one-dimensional because he's very good at that one dimension. So my only play at the moment is half a unit on Stots, and again, it's going to be another good live bet fight, I reckon. If someone actually puts up resistance against Sabatello, right? Last time someone did that at Irvin Rivera, he got knocked out in round 4. A bit of resistance would be good. Maybe that's what actually gasses him out, and then Stots can start letting his hands go. But I reckon they both get gassed out in 4 and 5. Ends up being a bit of a close fight. Other than that, if you're going to play Sabatello, man, you got to play him by decision. What's it paying? $3.25. It's a nice little line. Nice little line. The overs are all juiced to the tits. $1.30. 2.5 is $1.30. No, unplayable. We've seen Stots throw a nice little head kick knockout Juan Archuleta. So yeah, that's the whole card breakdown. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm gonna have a little sip of my brain drink, and I'll wrap it up. Alrighty, so what do we got? Caspel, dog or pass. Playing by finish if you got the prop. If not, I might even sprinkle a little bit on him. Jared Scoggins is just a decision machine. Patrick Danny's going to run through this kid. Mark Lemonjar, dog or pass for me. Just no conviction either way. Kakamaka should win, $1.30. Never in my life would I trust him against a gritty guy like Kevin. Cody Law, Chris Lencioni, dog or pass for me. If you want to play Cody Law, I guess you can play him by decision. That's his best path. Carl Kruchmar by decision. Wouldn't play anything there. Denise Keyhole, dog or pass. Still tossing up between a play on Joanne, probably pass. Dalton Ross, Anthony Adams, the over I'm looking at there. I'm probably going to play it. Yeah, I'm going to play it. Anthony Adams is going to do the best he can to survive, I reckon. Magomedov, Apache Mix, pass 5 for me. Aline Magomedov, but he's a slight favorite now, so I'm not sure if I want to play anything. Liz Carmouche, Juliana Velasquez, it feels like an accurately lined fight. You can potentially even play Velasquez by decision. Right. What are the overs? Pretty juiced. And the Ruffian Stots, Sabatello. I got Stots at $1.76. I'm just leaving it at that. Half a unit. Hopefully he wins. And I'll just look to live bet these title fights. All right, there's going to be good spots for live betting. So, yeah, if I had to do my best bets, I would say the over 2.5 on the Anthony Adams Dalton roster and Ruffian Stots if you can get the good line. And Lara Joanne as well. That's 3 for you. Other than that, that's it for me. Going back to taping some UFC. And then I'll be out in a few hours with the podcast for final bets. So back to work and need to tape some LFA as well. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.